Good afternoon. So we're going to get started. As people join, we're going to start really more with introductions and then get into the nitty gritty. So thanks again for joining. My name is Brittany Carroll. I'm the Strategic Partner Manager at Iris Factory Automation. I've been with Iris for a little over 3 years now. And I'm excited today to kind of launch this. Actually, this product launched late last year, but introduce you to our latest turnkey solution, the Guardian, our advanced barcode scanning system. So today we're going to show you how the Guardian can protect your brand, eliminate downtime, and simplify your end-of-line operations. So this is going to be fast, reliable inspection technology that we're going to go through today. We're going to walk through how it works, some of the key benefits, some integration options and camera configurations, as well as industries that we serve. And at the end, we're going to run a live demo and open up the floor for questions that anybody has. So feel free to, throughout the presentation, drop any questions in the chat, and we will cover those at the end of the webinar. So we'll get started. Just a little background about Iris for those of you who are not familiar with Iris Factory Automation. We were founded in 2013, and we have really grown as a trusted partner for end-of-line packaging automation. We focus on robust factory-proven solutions that streamline and enhance the end-of-line manufacturing process. So specifically, over the last 11 years, we focused on pre-engineered robotic palletizing, as well as custom palletizing, robotic case packing, as well as machine vision inspection solutions. So today we're really going to talk about our inspection, barcode scanning in particular, but just to give you an idea of kind of all the things that we work on as an organization. So our team is really backed by a lot of engineers. So we have a full mechanical design team, robotics, controls engineering team, as well as electrical and assembly team that builds everything in our shop, and a field support team. Some of the members here that I wanted just to highlight today are kind of the commercial facing group. So Rob Fell is our president and founder. He supports all of us, from engineering to sales. And he is a really great resource and has kind of been the backbone behind Iris and our designs and innovations. Myself, Strategic Partner Manager, I work with our partners, so distributors as well as suppliers, to help support our clients. Carl and Jamie head our sales team. So our sales team covers the United States and Canada. We also have systems in Europe as well. So Carl and Jamie will be kind of working with our clients throughout the sales process. And then Megan is our support sales manager. So she handles everything post-install. So anything from spare parts to continuous learning, support in any kind. She's going to be your kind of main point of contact for those types of things. And then Chris Budney, I will kind of pass things along to him. He is our applications engineering manager, and he's going to run the rest of this, most of this presentation, and kind of do a deep dive into the Guardian. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Chris.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Brittany, for that intro. So my name is Chris Budney. I am the applications engineering manager here at Iris. I've been here for 10 of the 11 years of Iris being in business. My background is in machine vision and inspection. So I have a lot of background there, and then within Iris kind of worn a lot of different hats, both on the programming side, robots vision, all sorts of automation, and more recently have jumped into startup and applications engineering group here at Iris. And our goal is to make sure, working with our clients, we can spec out the right pieces of equipment for the right applications and get everybody set up for a successful implementation of that equipment from the get-go. So I work pretty closely with Brittany and the rest of our sales team as well. And so as Brittany mentioned, today our main goal is to talk about the Guardian, which is our latest system. Really kind of navigate through what it is, how does it work, what are the benefits for our clients, what are we seeing as far as responses, and really make sure that everybody here today is gotten a really good overview of what they can expect and how the Guardian can benefit your work flow. So at a very, very high level, how the Guardian works is by detection, validation, and response. We boil it down to that specifically because we can customize all three aspects of those. So for detection, we're going to have product come through the system triggered by a photo eye, and that triggers the camera to start inspecting. At its core, the Guardian is a barcode scanning system. So typically that is triggering a barcode scan to read a code, and then the next step being validate. Make sure that the code that it read is in fact the correct barcode. And that validation process can be configured in numerous ways, and we'll get into that a little bit further on. And then finally, what is the response when we detect something? So if it's good, typically that response is let it through the system and just keep chugging along. If it's bad, we have multiple options for what do we do. We can reject, we can apply a product brake so it stops the conveyor as well as physically restrains the faulty product to make sure that no non-conforming product ever gets downstream in the production space. And so, what does that ultimately mean for our clients? Really, highest level, the purpose of any inspection system is brand protection, right? We want to make sure that no non-conforming product leaves your facility, whether that's non-conforming because it's got the wrong label on it, the wrong lid, it's marked as a non-allergen product, but what's inside is actually an allergen, or for our co-manufacturers out there, you don't want brand A product going out in a brand B package. So we're making sure that none of that stuff happens and protecting the clients in that sense. We really highlight in the Guardian system the downtime elimination. So we want to keep productions running through both the installation and integration, but also keep them running in terms of not having to have costly stops and costly audits when an escape happens and is discovered. There's no need to stop the entire line necessarily and scour the system, make sure that there's no other non-conforming parts in there, right? We want to keep you moving, and we'll stop it, let you remove it, and keep on going. And what's nice about this is a turnkey system. You don't need any experts on vision, barcode reading, PLC controls, nothing. This is a turnkey solution. It's going to bolt onto an existing conveyor, and we can integrate it as much or as little to your existing controls infrastructure as required. And then as far as the system setup, again, streamline, get it ready to use, get it in place as quickly as possible. Typically, what we're seeing on these systems is we're doing a mechanical and electrical installation in a matter of hours, 1 to 2 hours on simple single camera systems. You can get up to maybe 3 or 4 if there's some real complex guide rails and stuff like that. But in general, we're a 1 to 2 hour mechanical electrical installation per system. And then the integration side is usually about another hour, but that can all be done with product running through it. It's a passive system at its core. So once it's mechanically installed, there's no reason that production can't run through the system. Versatility is key for us at Iris. All of our products that we sell that are standard, we really pride ourselves on having custom options that within that standard to really fit all clients' needs. So in terms of what the Guardian can handle, really any single serve product, so single serve coffee, yogurt, stuff like that, where there's a lid on top, we can accept that product, scan every single lid, verify every single one is the right flavor. And similarly, do the same thing for bottles, cans, cups, cartons. We've got applications out there for pouches and jars. Really, you name it. What's shown here is a couple different configurations. We've got single camera configurations, double cameras, 4 cameras. In theory, one system can do up to 8 cameras. In practicality, you're not going to too often see a system that requires that many. Typically, what we're seeing for 360-degree inspection on bottles, cans is 4 cameras. And then I kind of highlighted on an early, turnkey solution, right? What does that mean? It means that we're able to plug and play during the integration phase, right? So we've designed this to be very small to be have as minimal impact on production as possible. So what that results in is a sub 10-inch system in terms of length on conveyor. So as long as you have a gap in on your conveyor somewhere that we can mount up to that has 10 clear inches, we can put a system on there and be inspecting parts, like I said, within an hour because it's ready out of the box. Our install process is bolted onto the conveyor, we plug it in, and we supply air if we go with any sort of air rejection. At its absolute minimum, those are the three things that we need to do. As far as power, this is 24 volts, or if you've got an existing 110 outlet, we can plug into a 110 outlet and consume like 3 amps of 110. And then the third aspect of this is the onboard controls. So you don't need to have a PLC nearby that this is going to talk to and get it integrated with the rest of the production line. We handle all of that. Everything is handled on board. So in the worst case scenario where you say we don't want to integrate with our system at all, great. We can put an air rejector on there and just blow or punch product off. We can put a break there that then can be detected through any sort of upstream backup sensors, or we can add our own integration into more gracefully stop production lines. And a lot of that can be configured right from the onboard HMI there. So you can handle configurations as far as reject response, reject timing, controls as far as what good product is or not, right? One of those things that you're going to configure is the response options. So the three major response options that we have is signaling the upstream equipment to stop production because we've caught something defective going through. That could be done through discrete I/O or Ethernet IP or Profinet communications. We can apply a product break like what's shown in the animation going right now, where we're going to actually apply a break that's going to put positive pressure, pin the product up against an opposing rail. Ideally, that's paired with the conveyor stopping as well through an upstream signal. And then the third and final rejection method is, or response option is reject product. So this requires no stoppage of production, no stop to the upstream equipment. We're going to see a bad part, we're going to kick it off and let the system keep running. We do have some pre-configured options in there that you can configure. Yes, I want to reject every non-conforming part, but if I see, say, 5 in a row, that is a stop condition. Or if I see, we'll call it 7 of the last 10, again, that's a stop condition. And those are all configurable directly on the HMI. You don't need to be a PLC programmer to get in there and make those changes. You can just go to the HMI, toggle, and set your setting. Okay, so what is in the Guardian system? So like I said before, at its core, this system is a barcode reader system. So there's obviously the barcode reader itself. We do have a small micro PLC on board that handles HMI controls and all that. It handles rejection, barcode response, trigger response. We monitor for external errors on both the readers, the air input. We've got a built-in pressure switch. We've got the trigger sensor as well. And then the touch panel HMI. Touch panel HMI is where you're going to be able to see counts, how many products have gone through, how many good, how many bad, how many times has a product gone that we haven't read a barcode. And then what do you want to do when you see a no good? A no read? Is that the same as a no good? Do we let that go by and ignore it? And you can have your own thresholds on those settings as well. And then finally, this expandable options. At its core, the Guardian was designed to be a barcode reader, but we do have options to kind of upscale those barcodes to some simple vision sensors and some not so simple vision sensors. So we've got product that has, AI OCR detection in more of a simple vision sensor form factor. We've got full-blown vision systems that can do AI detection for random defect detection or classification of, say, a product that doesn't have a barcode, but we know that there's 25, 30 different flavors of products that run on a line that don't have a barcode to identify, we can use the graphics and some AI vision to determine that with very minimal programming. And the key to that is easy access to that model to update it if graphics change, because marketing departments like to change graphics. Everybody always wants to see the newest, latest, and greatest. So we've designed a system that incorporates technology that makes those changes easy for our clients to handle.
All right. So thank you, Chris, for kind of giving an overview. We're going to move to some other information that I will cover, and Chris is going to run down to the shop to get the demo prepared for uh, the ending of this webinar. So I will let you go ahead and run down there, and I'll keep things going.
All right, thanks.
So we serve a wide range of industries with this product, really including food and beverage, personal care, automotive, consumer goods, really where product verification and traceability are critical. We've seen a lot of success though in food and beverage. I think that really has been the sweet spot for this with single serve coffee, cartons, bottles, cans, really all of those that fit within that food and beverage space this has been a really successful product for them. The Guardian solution starts at $25,000, which is really a huge value for a turnkey system. So the pricing is going to vary based on the configurations and the amount of cameras that you'll use. And really one of the biggest advantages of this system is to allocate your own engineering and programming or installation resources to some other task, right? So taking up those resources to design and program this type of solution can be costly. So we're going to deliver you a turnkey solution at a pretty reasonable investment. So the range really can be anywhere from like 25 to 35,000 for depending on what camera configuration and what type of rejects that you're going to use. As far as hardware, we offer flexibility in the hardware selection. So we work with leading camera providers like Cognex, Zebra, SICK, and Keyence. So really, whatever fits your specifications for your plant, we're willing to work with you to provide the best solution that fits within your scope for the project. All right, so Chris should be heading down there. We can switch over to his camera view here in a second so we can get the demo started.
So now that we're down here at the system, you can kind of see what one of these Guardian equipment looks like. What we've got this one equipped with is the side mount scanner option for carton case detection. So cartons will come down this conveyance. We'll inspect from the side, triggered by a photo eye here. And based on good or bad, we actually have the paddle here set to reject off of the carton. Typically, this would be guided all the way through, except at the rejection and go through a chute. But for our sake here, we've got this set up like this. So one of the things we talked about earlier was small form factor. So form factor here being your 8 inches out to out on the box itself. And then we add a couple inches off to the side here when we get to the actual reader itself, which is going to scan. One of the things that you'll see in this is as I block a reader, that's going to keep scanning. It's going to give me a warning in that case because it had consecutive no reads. So as I scan that, it is continuously triggering. So as long as something's blocking, it's going to be looking for a code, and it's not going to register a no read until it stops blocking it. What that is really nice for is as we run product through, if you've got a longer product, you don't have to get the entire product in the field of view to get the code. That code, as it traverses, can come through. So even if it's not in the field of view when you first trigger it, when you come through and it gets into the field of view later, it knows that that's still the same product because it never lost that trigger. And so that would kind of go on. So kind of highlight a couple of really nice to have features that are creature comforts. We've got LED lights that kind of span all the way across, side, top, and bottom of the HMI box. That's going to let you know rough status of the piece of equipment. If I throw a no good product in here by hand, it'll let you know. So flashing red is bad. There's an alarm. I can reset that. And we can put those resets, especially for non-conforming product, behind any sort of user login password to make sure if a supervisor needs to come by and reset. So at a high level on the HMI, it's going to give you an overall status, some counts, good, no good, no read and mismatch. We can do challenge tests where you put a bad part through, it won't count towards your negative metrics, but it'll just verify that everything is up and running so you never get caught without it running. We can override manually what code we want to read. We can also receive that from any sort of onboard system that might track that stuff internally that you have in place right away. As we go through the menus, this is where we're talking about all the configurations. So I can set how many no reads in a row is bad, no read rates, break delay or reject delay. We can enable the system, and then we can configure alarms. So I can have here that any mismatch is an alarm. It's enabled, it's an alarm. So enabled means it'll tell you if it happens, even though it's a warning. Alarm will stop or reject. And supervisor reset requires us to have somebody log in. So every single alarm is configurable to that extent. And then you also have some higher access controls as far as who can change what settings. We have a quick diagnostic that'll tell you status of inputs, outputs. We throw a QR code on here, and that QR code will take you directly to the Iris support site. So if you have one of these and you ever have a question, you need to ask one of our support engineers, you can follow that on your phone. It'll take you directly and you can submit a ticket. And then we can get a live stream view into the reader as well on the screen, so you can see what's happening on the reader, as well as what the code was the last time it was a mismatch. And finally, you've got alarms, both active and alarm history. So small HMI, but has a lot on here and really allows for user configuration of it as a whole. So we talked there, you have a programming port on the side, reader code. So right now we have a Keyence reader on here. These systems can be configured with any number of readers and brands. So Keyence, Cognex, SICK, Zebra, any of the big names we can integrate directly into the system, really with no major changes. Same functionality kind of going throughout. So we'll go straight into a demo kind of showing what it does on a carton system. So kind of first just throwing in some good product showing that as it reads the correct code, we'll go through. And if we throw the wrong product on, it'll fault, pick it off, and then that is going to require me to reset with a supervisor level and start again. So another example of bad product going through. So good product, and then another bad, picked off. If you want to walk around and show the backside too, just do it real quick. Yeah. So on the backside, you've got your electrical panel here that has all your electronics that we showed earlier, PLC, Ethernet switch, and terminal blocks for power distribution. Down below, we've got the filter regulator with a digital pressure switch, so we can monitor to make sure that we have adequate air to handle both rejection and cut brakes. A high-speed solenoid, and then right down here is a pneumatic actuator that handles that rejection mechanism. Again, that can be changed out for an air knife if we do air blow-off rejection as well. And then you can see also our two utility connections. So in this case, it's a simple M12 4-pin electrical cable that goes to 24 volts, or can go to an on-machine power supply that will turn 110 into 24 volts. And then in this case, a 6mm or 1/4-inch air line for our air supply. That kind of covers us as a quick overview of what and where and how. One other thing I guess we can highlight is the HMI itself can actually tilt. So if you have that 8 inches of conveyor space that's necessary, but it's on an incline, we can be mounted on an incline, and this HMI can tilt up to, I believe it's 15 degrees, basically allowing so your HMI is not in an incline, so it's easy to use still from an operator standpoint. So really designed it to be as flexible for installation as possible. And I think
One
from there we'll
question we
go
didn't
to
answer,
questions.
Chris,
Yeah.
is how do you program new SKUs?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's really three different ways that we can, sorry, four different ways that we can handle new SKUs. Um, the most automated way is through integration. We can integrate to a line side PLC or any enterprise level software that handles that, and we can actually take that code from a PLC or software that is supposed to be running on the line, automatically load that into the software, and send it to the barcode reader. So that's highest level of automation. Lowest level of automation is user input. So you can go there. There's a keyboard that you type in whatever the code is supposed to be, and then whenever you change that, it updates. And then there's the ones that are in between. So we've got one that we can do either an external device, reading device, a handheld or fixed, or you can utilize the reader that's already embedded here, depending on the type of code that you're looking at, and scan a traveler. So the sheet that goes along with an operator as they set up the machine for a changeover, they can just scan that. That'll populate whatever the barcode is and set it up that way. And then the fourth way is there's a button on the screen that can be just set. It's just set correct barcode, and the first code that this scanner reads is what the code will be. So if you're running a new production and you're getting ready to change it over, just hold back that first line, hit that button, and then the very first one that goes through, as long as it's the right code, will set what all the other codes are supposed to be. That's good if you've got a lot of changeover and you want to automate that process a little more. The flip side is usually you still want somebody here hitting the button because you want to verify that the first one that goes through is the correct one from the new run.
Thanks, Chris. So
Anything
we'll
else
open
I
up
can
the
answer
floor.
while out here?
So far, I don't have any questions in the chat. If you do have a question, feel free to drop it in. We'll open up the floor to you guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I do appreciate that. I will put my contact information up on the screen here. So if you have an application that you're looking at that you want us to take a look at, please feel free to shoot me an email, go onto our website, give me a call, shoot me a text. We're happy to help. So I see a couple people still on. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. All right. Doesn't look like any questions. So you get an extra half hour back of your day.